Hello and welcome to the Ladies Best Life podcast. I hope you're feeling sensational today. What I'm going to be talking to you about today is all about how the last few weeks have been for me. I have obviously enjoyed my birthday, I've had Christmas, I went to Dubai, and then I've just come back from Dublin. And I just wanted to share a bit of wisdom with you about all of those events. So what I often see around birthdays and Christmas is that people are so ready and they have this need to escape their current life that they have to just go full bore into alcohol or binge like foods. The reason they do this is because they're not allowing themselves to live a life that they actually truly love. And that might sound really cheesy and a bit cliche and be like, oh, it's all right for you because you've got a career that you love. I get it. All right. I was in a career that I didn't enjoy too much either towards the end. Personal training, I didn't get fulfilled by it. It was always a chore to go and do the sessions because I knew I was capable of so much more. I knew I could help these women too, and men I trained at the time. I knew I could help them more, but I just didn't know how to do it. And it was so unfulfilling because I was always having to be at the gym for like 6 a.m. and blah, blah, blah. And I just didn't like it. So I completely understand how you feel when you tell me that, you're in a job that you maybe don't like. You go home to a partner who you're not happy with. You are absolutely burnt out and stressed to the high heels. Again, I've been there. I know exactly how it feels. So for me, it was really interesting because obviously we're coming up to a year of me being single now and exploring the life of singledom, which has definitely had its ups and its downs. And what really stood out for me is the fact that I have been able to live life in a way that really lights me up. Now, again, I know if you've got children, if you're married and, whatever, you're tied into a job or the money is better, I get it. But there are ways that you can make a change. Okay. And I'm not saying to abandon any of those things, but you can make changes to yourself. I was speaking to someone recently who was saying, she was absolutely infuriated with someone that goes in that kind of works with her in the office. And she was saying like every day he like literally riles me to the point that I then take it home. And I was like, so what are you doing to like manage your emotions? What are you doing to kind of look after your headspace? She's like, well, what do you mean? She had no idea that we could actually look at managing our emotions. If changing a career is not something that you're willing to do because maybe the pay is good or what have you, the same as if you're in a relationship that you're unhappy in, but you've just invested so much time, hello, sunk cost fallacy, and you're unprepared to leave, there are still things that you can do because life is so short. And this is a message that I really want to convey to everybody today, is just how short life is. For you to be sat there constantly spinning your wheels, trying all these different shitty diets, for you to be in a relationship where you go to bed wishing that you didn't have to go to bed with them every single night, for you to go to a job every single day that you have to dose yourself up on coffee and chocolate just to get through the day. This is your life. There is no dress rehearsal. And that's something that really stood out to me. Was I didn't feel the need to escape this year. I had a nice day with my mum and my sister, went to Carden Park for my birthday, then we went bowling, and I spent the evening on my own. And I was so happy with that. People were like, oh, don't you want to go out? No, I don't need to go out. My life is good. I've managed to create the life. It hasn't just fallen on my lap. I've created this. And this is what we help to teach the ladies inside the CC to do, is to create their own life too, to create a life that they absolutely love. Because like I was saying a second ago, it's not about you needing to quit on all those things if you're struggling with them. Okay, what else are you doing to look after you? Are you taking a moment to take a breath every single day, just a deep breath, and bringing yourself back down into the present moment? So overlooked because it's so simple, but it is so beneficial. So the more we can start to tap into little things like this, the better. Also, emotional regulation again goes into things like movement and exercise. You might not be able to go to the gym right now. You might not be able to run at the minute. You might not be able to go on your favorite skiing holiday, but what can you do? And this is one of the biggest things that I see between people like me who are growth minded, who are constantly like, what can I do? How can I learn that? What is the, we're curious about how life could be different compared to a lot of people in society. They just accept what is the status quo. Even if they're unhappy, they just accept it. So what is it that, look at your situation for a second. What is the thing that's currently not fulfilling you? If anything, some of you might be listening thinking, no, you know what, my life's good and I'm fucking really happy for you. But if you are there like, yeah, I keep binge eating, I keep drinking all the time, I just feel a bit off, I don't feel like I'm being me anymore. Like loads of women join the coaching club because they've lost themselves. And it's not that they're like you know, that they need therapy, point have lost themselves. They're just in a position where they just don't feel like them anymore. They don't feel that they can speak up in ways that they could have in the past. They used to be confident, but now they're not. They constantly are slugging through each and every single day, and they don't have that abundance of energy like they used to have. But there are things that we can win in and on around the big things that maybe need changing. So just some food for thought, because this is what I recommended to this lady. I was like, so, okay, have you got a separation when you finish work to then going home? Can you pop to the gym? Can you go for a lap around the block? You know, what is it that you can do so that this one situation in work isn't eating into everything? Because like I said, life is so short. So that's something that I wanted to share with you, because it's been something that I haven't experienced before. Even literally to a year ago when my ex and I went to Maldives, that was pure escapism. And actually when I was there, so we went to Dubai first for 48 hours, stopped off on the way, went to Maldives. Within 2 days, I think I was absolutely written off with a sinus infection. I spent my whole 30th birthday pretty much in bed in Maldives, and also looking at this guy thinking, I should love you, I should be happy with you, I should be grateful for you. Like, you put all these banners up in the bedroom. I should. And I just felt this deep guilt eating me up because I didn't. You know, I think I did love him. Of course I did, but I didn't want to be with him. So I spent that whole holiday rough, overworked. You know, I went into it completely burnt out, and it was a pure escapism. So, and I know a lot of people will be doing that. So it's just something for you to consider, because if you don't want a life where you have to escape, it's up to you to make the changes. And the changes can be subtle, all right? The next thing is going into Christmas. Again, this was one of the Christmases for me that I actually felt my best. I got to wake up with my mama on Christmas Day. I got us matching PJs. We had a beautiful breakfast together, and then we went and saw my brother and his children, and then to my sisters and her children. And it was just a really nice day. Again, I drove, so I wasn't drinking. I really wasn't bothered by it. I had drank quite a lot throughout December, like birthdays, nights out and stuff like that. So I kind of thought, I'm going to choose when I want to drink and when I don't want to drink. And Christmas Day was just one of those that actually doesn't play a part in my day to day. And we played Twister, which was hilarious and actually so hard. I was there and I was like, right, okay, so right foot on the green, all right, yeah, I've got this. Okay, then left hand on the yellow, and you're like, right, okay, then the right hand do. And I was like, oh my God, it was such a tough workout and I loved it. But yeah, so that was another thing for me, is looking at what did I want to get from Christmas this year. I wanted to be present. I wanted to really lap up that time and present, I don't know, that kind of precious present moment with my family, because we never know how long they're going to be here. And I know people must think I'm such a morbid bitch by constantly saying this, but I've lost so many people in my life, so many people. And as much as that hurts, and as much as it's one of those things that I wish had never happened, you know, my nan, my uncle, my cousin, a really good family friend, my stepdad, my dad when I was younger, you know, it was all of these things, I think, cultivate the person that you are. And I think I have such a desire and a drive, if you like, to live life, because I've experienced death so much. Okay. And when that happens, you see people just wasting their life, just, you know, going in a job they hate, sleeping in a bed with a person they hate, you know, conversations are just not what they give a fuck about. Like, when people try and talk to me about money or gossip, I'm like, go away, you know, let's talk about something interesting. Let's not talk about other people, because every single person on this planet is doing their fucking best, regardless of your opinion of their actions or words, if you like. So it can be deeply unfulfilling, but how can you create a life that is more fulfilling? How can you look at, say, maybe next Christmas or Easter or your next birthday and think, what do I actually want to get from it? And how do I want to feel going into it? Because that's something that I had a conversation about probably 6 weeks before Christmas. And I was like, I'm booking Dubai. I really need a break. I'm getting a bit burnt out. This is before I actually had the burnout phase. And I just need basically a week off and no work. And someone said to me, Sash, if you could choose, how would you go into Dubai? And I was like, feeling refreshed, feeling energized, go there and really kind of get the most out of it. And they were like, well, let's do that then. And that, it sounds so simple, but that is what life by design is all about. You could be intentional. And sure, like I had some of the biggest business challenges I've ever had in the final kind of month to 6 weeks of 2022. There was like a load of stuff going on with friends. There's been a lot going on, you know, trying to keep up with social occasions, trying to run a business, trying to be a good friend, trying to be a good daughter, running people around, getting a car, like all these different things were going on. But I still had that kind of intention at the back of my mind that I am going to really get the most out of Dubai, and I'm going to get there feeling energized, feeling strong, and not feeling like I'm absolutely desperate for a break. And that's exactly what I did. And it was like unreal to get there and to do it on my own, to be on that flight on my own, to navigate taxis and stuff when I was there, and to just enjoy it. And this is where like I can really feel like I've made heaps and bounds, and I'm happy to share this with you, because I think the more vulnerable I can be, the more it encourages you to be invulnerable. And when we're vulnerable, we allow ourselves to allow for change. When we're vulnerable, life gets better, rather than just constantly burying your head in the sand and saying, no, I'm fine, everything's good. For me, it was actually a real challenge, you know, navigating through the whole of last year, an absolute roller coaster, as I put on one of my Facebook and Instagram posts. But I wouldn't change it for the world, because looking back at how Sasha would have navigated through things previously, like, so a year ago, Sasha, when she was just getting ready to go through the breakup and kind of like all those thoughts, like, am I happy? Is it right? Is it me? Blah, blah, blah. Did I work too much? When you're beating yourself up and you're questioning everything. But then I took the plunge, because one person, my mental performance coach, said, right, look me in the eye. Are you happy? And I was like, oh God, he's a really nice guy. And they were like, that's not what I'm asking. Are you happy? And the truth of the matter was, I wasn't, you know, and that was a very hard, bitter pill to swallow. But now looking back and realizing that I just did what I needed to do and what I wanted to do, and I didn't let fear stop me for once, was so rewarding. And then going from that point and looking back and seeing how I managed to, you know, do all the really simple things like get on a plane on my own. I've done that before, but an 8-hour flight felt a bit different to a 3-hour flight to Ibiza or what have you. And navigating a different airport, which is fucking huge if anyone's ever been to Dubai airport, then getting a taxi. And, you know, there can be a little bit, sometimes I find when you go to Dubai, I've only been twice, but so for me, I found that sometimes the taxi drivers and stuff aren't too polite to women. But actually, when you look beyond that, because this is a kind of headspace I went there with, is, you know, they're a bit rude to women, blah, blah, blah. They're not, you know, some people are. Okay, some people are, but actually the bulk majority of people are not. And that was something that was really nice to be proven wrong about this time when I went, is actually they're really polite over there. And they are, you know, it's different cultures, so you have to accept their culture. It's like someone else speaking a different language and you say, no, you need to speak English. It's a different culture. You have to accept that. And it was absolutely insane. I met up with some really, really, really inspirational and powerful people. And this is what I absolutely love about the life that I've designed now, is I am constantly the person who's saying, right, I like this person, I'm going to connect with them. How can I go and meet them? How can I spend time with them? I met up with my mental performance coach. I met up with one of our lovely clients, Amy, who took me to an amazing spin class called Peloton. I met up with a really good friend and fellow coach called Jack Meeks. I met up with another really good friend and coach called Anna. And it was just amazing. Like one day I was sat by the pool and I saw this woman was reading a book about trauma, right? And I was like, oh, and like I looked at it for a couple of times. I thought, no, don't be a dick, just let her chill, Sash. And I was like, oh, like I've got a feeling I want to just say hi. So I was like, oh, excuse me, what are you? How can we reading that? Are you a therapist or something? And we spent the whole afternoon talking about life. We literally went into full depth. She's not a therapist, by the way. Went into full depth talking about life, talking about what's working for her, how her life is, her past, her children. Well, she's got one child who's like 23 now. And then actually later on that evening, I went out for dinner with her and her son, and that would never have happened before. If I was away with my ex or with a friend, you kind of like close yourself off. And that's what I've really loved about travel and about doing things on my own, is because you're stepping out of your comfort zone. Like, you never know what people are going to be like. You never know how things are going to go, but you never know unless you find out. So that was really powerful about Dubai. Came back from that, had a couple of days on the kind of ground at home, and it was really nice to be home, and then went straight off to Dublin for an Authority Network event this last Sunday. You'll be listening to this. So Authority Network is my mentorship group. Okay, so there's a couple of different tiers in the mentorship group. You've got Authority Network, and then you've got Power Room. Power Room is full of people who are significantly dedicated to making change across the world. It's all about impact, and I'm in that group. I made it my absolute mission. As soon as I joined AN, I was like, I want to fight to get into Power Room. I want to prove to these people that I am here to be serious. You know, I am here to help the women across the world to not live how I used to live. I'm here to constantly, like, I am such a bookworm. I am such a sucker for new evidence and new information that I'm constantly learning and constantly pushing that information across to other people. It's often when we're learning things, it's not the message, it's the delivery. It's also a matter of time. You know, I remember back when I was a PT, I'd be saying the same thing to a client about, you know, macronutrients or the way they're training. And then they would read something online and it would just go in, it would click. And I'd be like, I fucking told you that like 25 times. But sometimes you're just not ready to listen and hear. And also other times it can just be like dressed up in a slightly different way. So Dublin for me was so powerful for a couple of reasons. One, again, I actively put myself in a room of 300 other coaches to learn, be inspired, and to kind of have my brain expanded in what's possible, how we can do things differently. You know, maybe this isn't working right now. How can we make it work better? You know, dealing with clients in a better way. Like all of these things is from a growth mindset. It's going, okay, I'm doing good right now, but how can I do better? And that's not from a place of like beating yourself with a stick and saying you're not doing enough, not at all. It's actually just from a place of, I want to constantly learn to evolve and get better at things. So why wouldn't I? And another reason why it was good is because I 3 months ago got asked if I would do a talk there because of the way that we do things in the coaching club, and they thought it'd be really beneficial for other coaches to hear, because our community is something like no one has, like people don't see this sort of community. It is literally like a sisterhood. They come together, they connect, they help each other when they're struggling, they raise each other up when they're winning, they are open, they're honest, they're vulnerable. And I've not seen that before. I've never seen such a community. No one fucking bitches. No one's horrible to each other. They all support each other. They all are so compassionate and understanding. And yeah, so basically Authority Network wanted me to deliver a talk on that. When I first got asked, I was like, my brain went no. I made my mouth say yes. I was like, yep, no problem. And after I said it, I was like, holy fuck. And I kind of just like put it to the back of my mind, like, yeah, don't worry. We're not talking to 300 coaches. We don't need to worry about it. Let's just leave it where it is and we'll deal with it when we get back from Dubai. You know, we pretty much know what we're going to talk about. It's what we talk about all day, every day. So let's just park it. And there was so many times from when I committed, when I said yes to the event, that I literally was like, I'm just going to text Dave and cancel. I'm just going to say I can't do it. And I remember I had a conversation with someone who I went out with, Lee Hand, another fellow coach in Dubai for New Year's Eve. I went out with them all, was just going to stay in, but they were like, come on, you can't stay in, you're in Dubai, come out. So I went out with them. And I was saying to him how like terrified I was and how I've got a fear of public speaking, because when I was young, I was doing nativity play and the word bikini was written down, but me being 6 or 7 just saw the word bike. So I saw the bic bit of bikini and I just thought bike. Bless my poor little soul. So I remember like I've got this kind of like vivid not vivid, like a really fucking clear memory in my mind of being stood there. I can't remember what I was. I think I was an angel. And I don't even know why the word bikini was in the play. I think they were trying to do it like a bit quirky. And I just, every time it got to my line, I remember looking down and be like, bikini. And we had to actually change the word in the end because I just couldn't get it right. Since then, and like people laughing at me and stuff, I have had a fear of public speaking, and it was kind of solidified again at our first ever coaching club in-person event in October 2021, would it be? Yeah, October 2021. We had our first event at Shipton Hall near Bridge North, and I remember being stood there and watching everyone coming in and thinking this was our first event after COVID, right? So we'd never done anything in person, it had all been online. And I remember stood there watching people coming in, I was greeting them, giving them a t-shirt, all that sort of stuff. And then it come to the point where I was like, I'm going to need to say something in a minute. You know, everyone else was just talking, I just stood back, and I had this overwhelming sense of gratitude because I was like, I've created this. These people all coming together, connecting, laughing, talking, is all because of me having the courage to leave my personal training job, have the balls to sign a mentor, and create this amazing space called the Coaching Club. And I went to speak and my voice just shook. You know, my legs were shaking. I felt like I could have cried, and I wasn't even upset. I was like, what the fuck? And I had a speech planned in my head and I just couldn't. And I basically was like, right, let's just go and enjoy the day and swiftly move on. And it really knocked me. So I have also in this time been working with obviously my mental performance coach. And I said to him, I was like, I'm really scared of public speaking. Please, can we work on it? So that's what we've done. And so going to this event, even right up to the point of, we were talking, it was meant to be at 3:10. It came to like 3:30 and the person before us was still on. And I said to the kind of, the guy below the main guy in regards to the coaches, Dave, I was like, can you ask Phil, who's the main guy, can you ask him if I can go first, please? He's like, yeah, I'll ask. And then I came back out the loo, ready to go. And he was like, you're not going first. And I was like, why? And he's like, Phil just said you're not going first. And I was like, right, okay. So there was 5 of us coaches, all from different kind of walks of life, in a row waiting to go up. Guess who we made go last? What a prick. But to be fair, even that moment of being stood there, seeing all these faces, looking at all the lights, hearing the other speakers talk before me, feeling my legs shaking, feeling my fucking heart rate going through the roof. In that moment of discomfort, and I mean sheer discomfort, came growth. Because I was challenged, I didn't get it my way. I wasn't able to manipulate Phil to put me on first. Damn it. I was challenged in that moment to hold your strength, hold yourself. Don't let your mind go off and tell you that you're going to open your mouth and nothing will come out and all those different things. And I'm going to say to you right now, I was riddled with fear beforehand, absolutely riddled with fear. And then it was like, the final person, obviously it's not even like a guessing game of who's going to come next. It was me, after this amazing coach for actors who did a really good talk. And I now know that everyone who knew how scared I was thinking after the actor guy, oh shit, Sasha's got such a uphill battle to go down here. Like, how is she going to be able to do it? And I can't even just, like, I remember grabbing hold of the microphone, stepping up on stage, and I just was like I'm in my power. Like I felt nervous still, and my voice did go a couple of times, but I felt at home, and it was amazing. And I don't even know where that came from, but this is again something that is like making me see that as a human, I'm evolving so much, because we actually all change. But some of us change for the better, some of us don't change for the better. And that's something that I've really been dedicated to over this last year, 2022, was changing for the better, was evolving myself as a human and getting into the best possible place that I can. But whilst going through quite a rocky phase, so it's been a bit kind of stop-start, there's been a lot of emotional volatilities. So it was unreal. And I just thought it would be good for any of you who listen to this, who are being challenged with things that are hard, things that don't go to plan, things that you're really scared about, all the things that we try and hide from. You have to lean in. Growth and human evolution and you becoming better and you being more fulfilled and joyous on a daily basis all comes from you stepping out of your comfort zone. If people in your immediate environment aren't doing it, then I would probably bet my what's that saying? Bet my last pound, bet my bottom dollar, or whatever it is, that you won't do it either. I have put myself in 3 different spaces to grow me, to evolve me as a human. I put myself in with my mental performance coach. I put myself in Dubai, and I put myself on that stage, and also the Authority Network group, right? And that's like, if you're looking at me and listening to me, and I know a lot of people are saying this at the minute, you're changing so much, you're evolving, you're growing, like you're fucking flying, you should be proud. It's because I've done it, guys. And I'm not like, this is a humble brag, because I want you to do it too, because I know how fucking good it feels. But it hasn't just happened. It's not right place, right time. It's I go after it. I don't take no for an answer. I will literally keep pushing. I say yes and I figure it out after. I say yes and I feel the fear, but I do it anyway. And I know so many of you will be sat there thinking, I want this year to be different. Well, how are you going to make it different is the question I'm asking you. So thank you so much for listening. I would absolutely love it if you could subscribe to this channel, just so we know who's listening, and also to grow it so that we can get more and more people to listen. As always, give it a share on your social media. If you're getting value from it, why not share it? It's not going to cost you anything. It's not going to, devalue you in any single way. So if you could give it a share, I would hugely appreciate that. The more we can do it, the more we can spread the wisdom, the more we can help people across the globe. Have an incredible day, and I'll speak to you next week.